Module 14, Suspicious Activity Rules or SAM rule. SAM stands for Suspicious Activity Monitoring Rule. Right. So basically SAM utility is integrated in a smart view monitor, and a smart view monitor we use for monitoring purpose, right? So with a smart view monitor, we monitor like health of security gateways, management server, also like top sources, top destination, servers, even tunnel monitoring, user monitoring, right? So generally we use a smart view monitor dashboard for monitoring purpose, right? Now let us assume that you find that you see a suspicious connection in a smart view monitor, right? A smart view monitor, right? For example, if telnet is not allowed with the security rule, let's say telnet application is blocked with security rule, but you see telnet traffic in a smart view monitor, right? So something suspicious, but you don't have time to react. You don't have time to go back to smart console and creating security rule, then publishing rules verification, policy installation on the gateway, right? So checkpoint has like this SAM rule feature, a very good feature integrated in like a smart view monitor itself. So if we find any connection suspicious in a smart view monitor, right? So just selecting connection and then right click block destination, and then we can block that specific connection, right? Maybe like specifying source IP, destination IP, port address, because SAM rule is basically IP and port based. No application, no URL category, right? So simply we can just select the connection, right click, block destination for a specific length of time. Like setting up expiry time or expiration is very important, because SAM rule consumes some CPU resources on a security gateway. So whenever you create SAM rule, you must set expiry. Generally always set like 60 minutes, an hour, and that gives you time to investigate and doesn't affect performance, right? So strongly recommended, like just creating SAM rule for a short length of time, right? So that you should have like sufficient time for doing further investigation and check, right? So SAM rule that we create from a smart view monitor is immediately loaded to firewall kernel module, like to the security gateway. Policy installation not required. We don't have to like install policy, publishing or rules verification or installation. No, not required, right? Immediately suspicious connection can be blocked. A very good feature, SAM rule database, right? Or maybe if anything like you find you say very unusual in a smart view monitor. For example, we know like http HTTP connections are very short-lived connections, right? HTTP connections are very short-lived connections, not long-lived connection. Too many connections, but only like for very short length of time, short-lived connections. And if you like see like a connection there in a smart view monitor for very long time, something unusual, right? So yes, you can block that connection from the smart view monitoring like dashboard itself. You don't have to create a security rule from the smart console. Even in case, let us assume, as there is no connection, right? There is no connection in smart view monitor. straight away you want to create a SAM rule based on IP and port address. So yes, that is also possible. Correct? Simply we can just open a SAM rule page, and you can we can specify source address, destination address, port, time, like the duration in fact, and then we can activate like SAM rule on a specific gateway. So just select the gateway on which gateway you want to push that SAM rule, and very easily like it is done. I'm going to show you practically how we can create SAM rule both the ways. I mean uh, like uh, at the time of like monitoring connections, and even like without finding any connection also we can create SAM rule. And in case if you are like interested in CLI, so from CLI also we can create suspicious activity rule, and there is basically one service, TCP based service FW1 underscore SAM. This service is used like to push that SAM rule directly on the gateway, directly onto the gateway, right? So as such, there is no policy installation for SAM rule, no policy installation. And another important point I must mention here before I just jump to a smart console. SAM rule is checked before checking security policy that we create from a smart console, right? So if there is a SAM rule and SAM rule does not allow traffic, right, blocked or denied with the SAM rule, so no matter like what security rule is there in security policy, because security policy is like checked after checking SAM rule database. Okay, so now I'm going to use same topology that we have been using since the beginning, right? And I will just initiate some connection from admin PC 10.1.1.71. We'll open a smart view monitor first for the monitoring purpose, and then in the real environment, in the live connection, for the live connection, we'll create SAM rule to drop that connection, right? So let me quickly show you the security rule in a smart console. So simply there is a rule here like to allow telnet, SSH, echo requests, another security rule from trusted to untrusted web traffic, DNS traffic. DNS is not logged, web and telnet, SSH and echo request logged here, right? So now if I just open a window from here, let's say I want to ping 10.12.28 -t. So yes, getting through. And if I just show you the log, so yes, we can see like this log. So ping is allowed, echo request, admin PC, and the route server 12.0.1.28. Also, let me initiate some more traffic. So where is my browser? All right. So let's say facebook.com allowed, all HTTP and HTTPS based traffic allowed here. So just I'm generating some traffic. Also telnet, so that we can see like all traffic in a smart view monitor. All right, so it's a router. Telnet traffic. Okay. Show route all right, so I'm back to a smart console, and if you look at the option here, logs and monitoring. So even like if we want to just do like basic monitoring, I mean like top source, top destination services. So if you remember, so in logging and monitoring section, I like just showed you like different ways for doing monitoring, and even on this page also, on the right hand side you can see top sources, destination, top service, action, blade. But I want to open this a smart view monitor a dashboard, a separate dashboard, right? So for that, open a new tab from logs and monitors, right? And at the bottom we'll find tunnel and user monitoring, a smart dashboard for this smart view tracker, or sorry, a smart view monitor. So if you look at the option here, external apps, tunnel and user monitoring. So click tunnel and user monitoring, and the dashboard like a smart view monitor is like opening here. So a smart view monitor like is used for monitoring purpose and also for creating SAM rule, right? And monitoring, you can see here like with a smart view monitor you can monitor health of like management server, security gateway, like virtual memory, CPU utilization, right? Connected clients, and also you can expand, like if you want to check detail then you can expand here, right? And on the left hand side here, traffic section. So top security rules, top sources, top services, top interfaces, they are very much self-explanatory. So I'm going to open this top destination or maybe connection, right? Just click here, top destinations or source or connections, and you can open multiple window here, right? Top connections also, top services even, and we can also select direction like either bound, inbound or outbound. So top services here, SC1, and look at the services, and there are different like views here. So you can see like different views and like echo request and echo reply. So if you look at this echo request and echo reply, so echo request, echo reply, and domain UDP, HTTPS connection I can see. And what about top sources? So if I select top sources, so 10.1.1.71, that is admin PC, like the computer from where like I have just initiated or generated traffic. 10.1.1.71, like the top source in fact, and the source is like 192.168.1.101, and the connection. So here is the connection here, right? So route server, SMS SG, and the echo request like this one. Look at this echo request, continuous ping, this one, right? Echo request. Now I want to block this echo request in the real time, right? I can see like let us assume that this traffic is like suspicious, and I don't have time to go back to smart console and creating security rule, publishing and installing policy. So can this connection be blocked from here? Yes, and let me bring this CMT also. So if I want to block the destination 12.0.1.28, so what I can do, I can select like the top destination, maybe this one, and then CL block destination, right? Block destination. Click block destination, and now we have option to specify the gateway and source address, any are specific, right? So specific like this one, admin PC 1.71. And what about the address 12.0.1.28 for IP like subnet mask? You can see here mask is like grayed out because specific IP address. So selection is IP address. Even like we can select network also, and then network in case of network. Yes, like we can specify network mask, but I want to block this connection for specific host IP and destination. That's correct. And what about the service? Any service. So if I select any means like both this ping where is ping request, this one ping and as well as SSH connection, they both will get terminated and already is like already timed out anyway, no problem. So yes, since there is only one connection hitting the destination 12.0.28, so I can select like the same. Let me adjust on the screen. This one, all right. Okay, so I hope you can see now, and here is like the option to specify expiry. So 10 minutes, yes, more than enough, like good enough 10 minutes. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to just click here enforce, right? And immediately this rule will be loaded on the gateway. Just hit down enforce, and let me bring this window back, and now there should be RTO here, and see here request timed out. And why request timed out? Because of SAM rule. Can we see that in log also? So if I open this log message for an hour, and we can also use filter. So source is there, and this one, right? Echo request, traffic drop from this IP to this IP, root server dropped, and the rule SAM rule here. So here SAM rule. So echo request traffic drop from 10.1.1.71 to 12.0.1.28. So without creating security rule in a smart console directly, we can block connection from a smart view monitor just by selecting the top destination or maybe source and then right click block destination. And we can also see logging option here. Again, if I take you to the same like a smart view monitor one more time here, and now can we see that SAM rule? Yes. So tools and then suspicious activity rules, right? Suspicious activity rules show on SG1, and see here a rule created source destination service any action drop and track is what log option enabled here. What if I remove this like rule? Let me show you, and also bring this here. So after removing SAM rule, we should get response path, right? Remove, and yes, let me bring this window back and see here, right? So now it's pinging here. So it was just the lab demonstration. Obviously, we can block any connection, right? From here from a smart view monitor, and even in case if you just want to create SAM rule, you don't see any like traffic here, like maybe top destination or maybe top sources, right? So because if you see any connection here like either top sources or destination, then just select that and block source or maybe block destination, right? and and then on this page we get the option here. Destination is by default selected here. Even we can change that, or maybe just creating SAM rule from here, suspicious activity rule, and then add, and look at the different option here. Apply on all security gateways, no security gateway one, what IP address you want to assign. So if we want to block a connection coming from 10.1.50 and destined to what IP address, let's say 888, the destination address, service. So we can specify service here. 888 what? DNS or ping or what service, right? So from this list, so echo TCP, UDP, also like we have, do we have telnet also? Yes, telnet is there, so we can like TFTP, and even we have option to specify custom port here. So in case if you don't find like service listed there, so you can specify port number here as TCP. Maybe if you want to block, let's say UDP port 53 for DNS, so select UDP port 53, right? But no application, no URL, only service. So and then enforce. So SAM rule is created here, right? And if you want to remove, then you can remove. And there can be more than one SAM rule created here, no problem, right? And if you go to advanced tab, then here you can, if you don't want like log message in a smart view log or is the logging option, you can turn off like by selecting no log here, right? And another way of creating SAM rule is obviously from command line interface. FW and then SAM underscore policy. So you can use the command and then like add and then like all the options like source, destination, service, logging should be there or not. So this way we create SAM rule in Checkpoint Firewall, right? So I hope you understand like what is suspicious activity monitoring rule, and the suspicious activity monitoring rule is checked before checking security policy that we create from a smart console, right?